guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's tutorial is going to be on this makeup look. I did this look on my Instagram a couple of days ago and a lot of you guys requested that I do a video on it, so here it is. And if you guys want to see how I got this look, then keep on watching. So for this eye look, I'm going to be using my favorite palette. This is the Morphe 35O palette, and I'm just mixing those two light brown shades and using this as my transition shade. And I'm just using a blending brush to blend it out into my crease. And then I'm taking those two dark brown shades from the palette and I'm going to put this on the outer V part of my eye, and I'm just going to slowly work it in and then take a fluffier blending brush to really blend it all out. And I don't want to take this shade too far into my inner part of my eye, just keeping it on the outer V. And then I'm taking the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Glitter Glue and applying that on my lids just to help prevent my lid color from transferring onto my crease. And then for my lid color, I'm going to be taking that shade from the palette and putting this onto my lid, but only halfway. And now for my favorite part, I'm taking Boy Band from Colourpop Cosmetics, and I'm going to be taking a small flat brush for this, and I'm basically just going to put it in the inner part of my eye, and once I get to the second shadow that we placed, I'm just going to kind of fade it out so it gives an ombre effect. And for my eyeliner, I'm going to be using my favorite. This is the NYC Liquid liner, and I'm just going to be doing a wing with this liner. And if you guys have noticed, my wings have kind of evolved. I used to do my wings super thick, but I think that they're getting kind of smaller. So yeah. To get my lashes ready for some falsies, I'm going to be applying mascara, and this is the NYC Instant Lash Mascara. For my lashes today, I'm going to be using the Hua Beauty lashes in the style Lana. These have seriously become my favorite lashes lately. They're just so full and long, and yeah, I love them. And then I'm taking that same liquid liner and I'm just putting some on top of my lash band to cover any lash glue that might be peeking through. And now moving on to my skin, I already applied some moisturizer off camera, and now I'm just using the Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm as my primer. I like to let this sit on my skin for a little bit because I noticed if you don't let it dry completely before putting on foundation, your foundation can look a little bit patchy, so that's why I let it sit for a little bit. And then for my foundation, I'm using the Loreal Infallible foundation in the shade Sun Beige, and I'm just using my damp beauty blender to apply it with. For my concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Light, and I'm just going to be putting this in a triangle shape underneath both of my eyes, my chin, my cupid's bow, the bridge of my nose, and the center of my forehead, and I'm just going to be blending that out with the same damp beauty blender. And to set underneath my eyes, I'm using the Airspun Loose Face Powder in Translucent Extra Coverage, and I'm just going to let that sit underneath my eyes for a while, and I will dust it off in a couple of minutes. And then to set the rest of my face, I'm using the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Perfecting Veil in the shade Medium. And then I'm just going to apply my favorite bronzer. This is the Tarte Park Ave Princess bronzer, and I'm going to be using one of my favorite brushes right now to apply bronzer with. This is from Beauty Junkies. This is their Pro Sculptor brush. And then I'm going to take the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in the shade Gold Deposit, and I'm just going to put that on top of where I put my bronzer as well, just to give a more glowy effect to my skin. And then I'm taking that same Airspun powder and putting it underneath my bronzer and letting it sit like we did underneath my eyes. And then for my highlighter, I'm going to use the Ofra Cosmetics You Glow Girl highlighter and putting that, or no, this is You Do You. You Do You? Yeah, this is the You Do You highlighter, and I'm just going to put that above my bronzer, my Cupid's bow, above my eyebrows, and then I'm going to contour my nose with the Tarte Highlight and Contour palette with that light brown shade, and then I'm going to put that highlight on the bridge of my nose. And then I'm just going to dust away all the powder underneath my bronzer, and I love doing this because it just gives a more cleaner appearance underneath my bronzer. And then going back to my eyes, I'm using the NYX Cosmetics Wonder eye pencil into my waterline. This is my favorite nude eye pencil. And then I'm taking those same two brown shades we used as my transition shade, and I'm smoking that out on my lower lash line. And then I'm taking the Colourpop Boy Band eyeshadow, and I'm just putting that on the inner part of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take that light champagne color and put it onto my inner tear duct. And then I'm just going to put some mascara on my lower lashes, and I'm going to go ahead and curl them. And finally, for my lipstick, I wanted to give you guys two options of what you guys could do with this eye look. The first option is just I'm applying the Colored Raine Truffled Raine liquid lipstick, and the second option is I'm keeping the Colored Raine on my lips, and then I'm just taking the NYX Liquid Suede liquid lipstick in the shade Sandstorm, and I'm just putting that on the center and blending the two together. And that's it for this tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.